Since when did Onana play for Celta Vigo? I need their goalkeeper arrested immediately. Deport him back to Romania. I need him investigated for fraud. Celta Vigo's goalkeeper needs his visa snatched away. On my life, he was playing against them. And it's so jarring because when Real Madrid are going against these teams, I'm seeing all their goalkeepers turn into prime Buffon. They're out there moving like Manuel Neuer, okay? They're moving like the spirit of Yassine is in them. But against Barcelona, they're allowing all these goals that a normal, decent goalkeeper would save. What is that brother doing? I need him to be investigated immediately. Surely he had money on Barcelona. That's the only way that you can explain how he did not save at least one of those shots. Fucking ridiculous, bro. The first half, I was loving life. That game was so open. It was like watching the NBA. It was back and forth, back and forth. I was like, Barcelona are in trouble. And then the best thing that could have happened for them came along. And that was the halftime break. And then everything changed in that second half. But today, Celta Vigo introduced me to a vibe that they could not maintain. It was good while it lasted. And then you allowed Barca to pull away. So we got to talk about it. I see you Varsatards in the comment section celebrating, acting like you've just won La Liga. I think you guys should go have a look at the table. Because even though you've collected these 3 points, it's still so lonely at the top. And it'll stay that way throughout the entire international break and even when club football returns. The mighty Barca, celebrating finishing in second for the time being. Just how I like you. There's a reason why you're not more successful than us. Look at the standards of your club. But congratulations on being second place behind Real Madrid. But let's actually just break down what we've just witnessed. I need you guys to get in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about this game. Who was your man of the match? Smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications. Celta Vigo 2, Barcelona 4. And it's like I said, in the first half, this game was wide open. They were going band for band, essentially. Like Barcelona scored, and then immediately Celta Vigo equalized. And I thought that's how it was going to continue, right? The first half, Barcelona were creating a lot of chances, right? I think Celta Vigo got lucky one time. To be honest, Marcus Rashford, in my opinion, was Barca's best attacker today. Even though he didn't have a good performance, and I know that Lewandowski scored the hat trick, for me, Marcus Rashford was a threat the entire match. Now, I know that he missed 2 chances, right? Like, Rashford should have had a brace to go with that assist. And also, Lamine Yamal's goal at the end of the first half came because Rashford played a good ball. It deflected off of a Celta Vigo player, fell to Lamine Yamal, who took a shot. But how is this goalkeeper? I'm telling you, I want this guy waterboarded for information on why he was so trash. It makes 0 sense, bro. Lewandowski, 2 of those goals should have been saved. No, matter of fact, I'll just say 1. Because the Rashford assist was a great cross. Lewandowski puts it between the goalkeeper's legs. I'll give you that. And then the header in the second half, the goalkeeper couldn't have got to that. But the penalty, how are you not saving that pen? By the way, I think it's a harsh call. But I will say this. La Liga's referees have been consistent with calling the handballs like that all season. So fair enough. But in my opinion, it's harsh. Alonso is literally trying to bring his hands into his body. It hits his arm as it's getting tucked in. They give it as a pen. The minute I saw that replay, I knew it was going to be a pen because they have to call that because they've been doing it all season. So fair enough. But the goalkeeper, that was a shit penalty by Lewandowski. I thought Barcelona in that first half, once again, back line in midfield, looking like Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips. There was no type of defensive awareness, right? Everybody for Celta Vigo was just running through you. That high line was getting fried in that first half. They did score some good goals on the counter, right? I thought Celta Vigo moved the ball very quickly. I thought in the first half they were doing a decent job of keeping their shape, even though Barcelona were able to breach it at times, right? I also thought that, what's the guy's name? Iglesias. That goal that he scored for their second was nice. I can't lie. They gave him way too much space. Barcelona's midfield today played a lot better than I expected. That midfield has zero physicality. I'm looking at De Jong, Dani Olmo, and Feminine Lopez. They couldn't do 5 push-ups combined. Why did Celta Vigo not bully that midfield? I'm seeing a Dani Olmo and Frenkie de Jong pivot. It makes zero sense. Why didn't Marc Bernal start this game? Why can't... this guy Marc Bernal got subbed on in the 96th minute. My guy played 42 seconds. My leftovers in the microwave last night got more minutes than Marc Bernal today. I could not believe how Hansi Flick treated this kid, bro. And I guess it worked because in the second half, I can't lie, bro. Barcelona absolutely dominated Celta Vigo. That second half, Barcelona looked like a completely different team. That was belt to ass. I didn't see Szczęsny the entire second half because there were no counterattack opportunities for Celta. Barca dominated the ball. Barcelona dictated the tempo. They kept the ball in Celta Vigo's own half for a majority of that second 45 minutes. I don't know what Hansi Flick said to them, right? But Barcelona were a lot better on the ball. Their first touch was a lot better. They weren't taking as many risks. It didn't look as sloppy either. And then again, you have Lewandowski, who essentially got the dagger with his header. And one thing about Lewandowski, even though I think he's washed and it's time to learn Arabic or English because it's his last season at Barca, if you create chances for him, he will finish in the box. He can't link play. He's not going to press. He can't chase through balls. But when you put it on a platter for him, he will get the job done. I can't lie. Lewandowski in the box, you still do have to be a bit wary of him, even though this season he's been dog water for the most part. I thought on an individual basis, for me, Barca's back line this game was not good at all. But I do think Eric Garcia played a lot better than Koundé has. I thought Araujo, right? He was their best center back in my opinion. Cubarsí struggled. Alejandro Balde, once again, very mediocre. I thought Szczęsny, I don't really blame him for any of the goals that were scored. I know that Barca fans are going to come in and try and cook him. I thought Szczęsny couldn't have done any better, right? The first goal that Celta Vigo scored from the counter, bro, like, what is he meant to do? And then Iglesias with an amazing strike. I don't really blame Szczęsny. I think his distribution was a little bit shaky, but second half, he was comfortable. In the second half, Szczęsny could have took a nap. He could have signed some autographs. He could have went to the bathroom. He could have fucking went home and checked on his kids, came back, they still wouldn't have scored. I thought the midfield was pretty mediocre, right? Like Fermin Lopez, mid. Dani Olmo, mid. I actually think De Jong, who got a red card. And by the way, I think he's now suspended for Bilbao. So they're not going to have Frenkie. They're not going to have Pedri against De Jong. That was such a stupid tackle by him. He was already on a yellow. He steps on the guy's foot, gets a second yellow, is sent off. What an idiot. But I think he was their best midfielder, right? Dani Olmo in the pivot, mid. Fermin Lopez didn't really offer anything. Like I said, for me, if I had to pick a man of the match, I'm going Marcus Rashford. I know he didn't get the hat trick, but I thought he was Barca's most creative player, right? He should have scored 2 goals. In the first half, even though he was a threat, didn't really play that well. But yeah, his chance creation, again, those 2 opening goals do not come if it's not for him, right? Let's be very honest here. So No. That was 2 opening goals, sorry. Because the penalty was the first goal. I'm talking about the second and third one. They don't happen if it's not for Marcus Rashford. But that goalkeeper should be doing a lot better. It's fucking jarring. But Barcelona, you got to give them credit. In the second half, they absolutely cooked. Now, just to remind you guys, as I said a bit earlier, I do want to show you something, right? So here is the La Liga table, right? Like I said, congratulations to Barca for collecting 3 points, but you're still 3 points behind Real Madrid. It's lonely at the top. You guys still got to catch up. Maybe you guys might, do something a little bit later down the line, but I doubt it. We all know that Real Madrid are winning La Liga. But congratulations on celebrating being second right now. I know that this is a position that you're familiar with, going against Real Madrid. But now, look, get in the comment section. Let me know what you guys are saying about that game, right? Let me know if you guys thought that Barcelona dominated, or do you think Celta Vigo were just bad? For me, their goalkeeper, absolutely shit. And if I was a Celta Vigo fan, they need to be throwing tomatoes at his house and at his car. Fucking ridiculous. Smash that like button, subscribe, people, get in the comment section.